Hey yo, what is up? New French heavy tank has entered super tests. The Char Lord AP58. That's right. Not Tracy Lord. Char Lord AP58. Now, historically, this is supposed to be the precursor to the AMX 50B. It looks nothing like the 50B, but this was just before they came out with the 50B. This was the initial design. Supposedly it's supposed to be kind of lower, but without the oscillating turret and without an auto reloading mechanic, or an auto loading mechanic, I should say, about the AMX 50B. Now this tank, of course, Char Lord, not Tracy Lord's, AP58 is not available to the rest of the world. It is on super test on the RU server, but that's not to say this will not someday magically appear on the EUNASEA server. Who's to say what's going to happen? Are they still friends? Do they still secretly have this secret handshake? Do they still meet each other in the back door of clubs? Do they go into meetings like wearing a mask and pretend they don't know each other and still share information and assets across the servers? Who knows? But this looks pretty interesting. However, there is a little bit of a setback. The reload time is incredibly slow, 13.5 seconds to reload. However, you do get a 400 alpha gun. I don't know if it's going to be worth it. Pretty difficult to say. 13.42 seconds reload is, I don't know, in my opinion, historically, it doesn't make it a very competitive tank, I should say. You know what I mean? You can still make it work. There are some very slow reloading tanks out there that do pretty well. It depends on who play them. It depends on how you play them. It depends on how you time your reload. It depends on the kind of situations you put yourself into. A tank like this, if you look at it from the face of it, it looks like it's got a little bit of sloped upper front plate. It looks like it's got a little bit of gun depression, 8 degrees. It looks like it's got an angled, sloped, bouncy turret armor, because the turret has got 210 millimeters of armor on the front. So it seems like if you put this tank on a undulating terrain, if you overlook a ridge, if you're covering a ridge and looking down, maximizing your 8 degrees of gun depression, seems like this is the tank that you could make work in that kind of situation. But again, the downside, 13.42 reload isn't great. The dispersion isn't too bad. 0.35 means the accuracy of this tank is workable, it's usable. This is a heavy tank, so this is a heavy tank that's going to be able to shoot at medium distances and long distances. It won't be too much of a problem. Of course, you're not going to make all your shots. 3.5 dispersion is like a good Russian tank, heavy tank accuracy, so not the greatest, but not bad. Aim time 2.68 seconds on the slow side, but you do have pretty quick shell velocity on the AP shells, and the premium APCR shells fly at 1334 meters per second. You also have 390 meters of view range and absolutely no camo. 4.45 does not make this a very hideable tank. If it's a 50B brother, sister, or a 50B precursor, then this is going to be a pretty big tank with pretty terrible camo, as a 50B should be. But this is supposedly going to be a lower version of a 50B. It is a single shot gun, not an auto loader. 850 horsepower with 14.41 power to weight ratio. It makes the tank kind of move quite quickly for a heavy tank. 14.1 power to weight ratio makes this tank pretty agile and mobile, which is what you expect. 50B is kind of like a quick heavy tank as well. You know, if they make a carbon copy of the 50B, I wouldn't say it is a bad thing. But again, back to that gun, how is that gun, that reload, that accuracy, how is it going to synchronize with this platform, with this mobility, with this agility? How will this gun work with this kind of, on the slow side, aim time, which is pretty interesting. But one thing I must say, if you look at the modeling, if you look at the design, this is a pretty sexy tank. If this is a French heavy tank or a new French heavy line, and they're going to make this line of tanks that look this way, I would say this is like you have a real banger in your hands. Pretty successful in terms of design and in terms of the way it looks. Imagine putting some cool camo on it. Maybe it'll come with a 3D style later. I would imagine this tank would be pretty hot looking. It is already pretty good looking even without any camo. Just the silhouette of the tank, the shape of the turret. When you draw you know, a typical tank, this is the kind of silhouette that you are basically going to draw. It's pretty sexy looking, pretty good looking. You know, it is very alluring. I think on the design part, on the aesthetics, it's going to look pretty good. A lot of people are going to, you know, a lot of people are going to like this tank just because of the way it looks. I know I want to play this tank just based on the way it looks. It already looks good to me, and that's why I play the game. I play the game because I want to look at the models of the tank. I want to look at how cool they look. I want to fantasize in my mind how it feels like to be driving this tank, shooting this tank, and you look pretty cool while you're doing it. So in terms of design, aesthetics, it looks pretty good. However, I think before they release the tank out into public, they have to boost this reload time. 13 something seconds is just not going to cut it. Even if you give me 400 alpha, unless you throw something like a 450 alpha or something like that, then I might change my mind on it. But anyway, this is what I think of the new Char Lord AP58. I'm going to call this the Little Tracy. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.